As scandals continue to rock the Niger Delta Development Commission, few days ago, the National Youth Council of Nigeria released the names of lawmakers accused of benefiting from contracts awarded by the Nddc. Now, the union presented what it claims is a document containing the list of members of the National Assembly who allegedly got overbloated and unexecuted contracts from the agency. But the lawmakers accused of this have fired back, refuting the allegations and telling the minister to give an account of how the Nddc spent 81 billion naira. Well, joining me via Skype is public affairs commentator Victor Ohai. Good morning, Victor. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. It's a pleasure as always to be here.
Thank you so much. I'm certain that you have been following developments with the Nddc, the allegations and counter-allegations, and the Senate coming out to say that Akpabio lied with the claims that some of its members in the House of Representatives got a majority of the contract. Now, with recent developments, are you confident that the forensic audit that the president is calling for would ensure that the Nddc is stabilized and that its mandate is fulfilled 20 years on?
Well, I'll say this. The fear of forensic audit is the beginning of financial, I won't use the word wisdom, but financial prudence. Because obviously, whatever trails that can follow and trace very, very effectively. That's something a lot of them are scared of. I think it is, Nigerians have called for it. It is something that is very imperative right now, not just of the Nddc, but of NNPC and some of these places where the country is, the economy is hemorrhaging. We make a lot of money, but a lot of it is lost because of corruption. So I think it's imperative, the time has come, and it's something that I think the government has no choice and it has to be done, and it will be done.
But with the direction this is taking, would we really get to the root of every allegation that we see? 81 billion naira, and we see the level of poverty, the level of agitation, the essence for which the Nddc was brought up in the first place. It seems to be lost in all of this.
Well, the Searchlight is on now. The job of the media is to set agenda, and obviously even the National Assembly have helped us to do that, and the media Searchlight is on it. Even if not everyone wants to talk about it, I can assure you this will not go away. The amount is too much. The intrigues around it, people might say, well, it's one of those things you might bury. This is going to be very hard to bury because it's already in the public domain. And there are enough people who put pressure. This will come to a conclusive. Will end. It's not going to be wished away. People are going to keep asking questions, and I think the pressure is on the government, especially the president, seeing that he has, if you like, revived his anti-corruption campaign right now with the trial of Magu and what is going on right now. I think it will continue. One thing I do know is the government is enjoying what is going on now in the sense that people are saying it has started to fight corruption. I think they want to maintain the momentum. Unfortunately, a lot of heads may roll, but if that's the sacrifice the government has to make to maintain its integrity, particularly in the fight against corruption, it has to do it. Otherwise, this is going to go down it's going to go down as the worst government in terms of corruption.
All right. On the part of the people, would you say they have done enough to ensure transparency and accountability? Because like we pointed out, the commission was established about 20 years ago, and we still see a majority of the people in that region wallowing in poverty.
They are not only wallowing in poverty, they are wallowing in ignorance. Truth is, they were not aware of the slaves that's been going on there. So it's more like wallowing in ignorance. What happens is people come, pretend that they are working for them. They go, it's like what the politicians would normally do. Just take a little slice of the pie that actually belongs to them and then go and share it around, and people now look at them as if they're doing great. Instead of taking care of infrastructural development, instead of taking care of education, instead of developing the place, infrastructure especially, because the idea was to begin to make that place look like, the accusation was that the money from there was used to develop Abuja. And they want to look like Abuja as well, which means infrastructural development is critical. But unfortunately, if you go around that region, you will cry. I mean, you will weep for what you see. And then the people who are supposed to be the leaders there, and that's what the problem is there as well. What they do is when they want to do infrastructure development, they will come put themselves in the front and say, you must talk to us. Because they're standing between them and the people, it's like, if you don't talk to us, we'll incite the people. So they collect the money, pocket the money, and then just give the people a little bit of it. But with information right now, and if the people are aware and they know what their leaders have been doing, I don't think they're going to be fooled anymore. So what we need is information, to wipe away the ignorance, and I think the people will then be liberated.
So
and then the people will
do you think that this could trigger some sort of agitation from the people with all of the information that is out at this point?
It should, if well managed. Otherwise, the people can go back and begin to incite and say, oh, they are victimizing them and all that. But this is not the time. The government has to counter with an equal amount of, if you like, propaganda and information. There needs to be information out there at the grassroots so that people are fully aware of what their rights are. They're fully aware of their privileges. They're fully aware of all that belongs to them, that these people have been ripping them off. And they should name and shame them as well. When that is done, then I think the people will be fully empowered and liberated.
Well, the point there is, when it comes to the twists and turns and all of that, as we put it this morning, it's really been very dramatic. But what do you make of my word against your word when it comes to the list that was released, say, or the accusation from the Minister of Niger Delta saying some lawmakers were given contracts, and the lawmakers are actually bold enough to say, oh, well, if you have any proof, go to the EFCC or make anything public. What do you make of all of those?
Well, without any prejudice to what's on ground already, it is not improbable. In fact, it's highly probable that the lawmakers would, would take an extra interest in contracts and things like that. It's not. I mean, we've seen this happen time and time again. This is like truth and dare. They have challenged. I do not blame the speaker. I think he was himself shell-shocked at what he was hearing listening to during the hearings, and he challenged Akpabio. That's probably because he's never sat on the committee for the Niger Delta. He's served on several other committees, and as speaker, probably like we heard, that most times the chairman of the committees are the ones who take these contracts and pretend that they're collecting money on behalf of other members. As they say in Nigeria, you chop alone, you die alone, and that's what has happened to them.
Yeah, but Victor, the point there is the National Youth Council accused the Speaker of the House of Reps of not being sincere, because the point there is the forensic audit that has the list of all of those were part of the appendages to the petition that was forwarded to the National Assembly leadership. So he couldn't have, according to them, he couldn't have said he didn't know about it.
No, wait, has there been a forensic audit, or there is to be a forensic audit? I think we need to get that clear.
All right.
I do not think as yet a forensic audit has been carried out, but clearly the records are there, and that is what has been brought to the fore. The
NYC said that the list that was received, because the minister could not have made it public because he got those from forensic auditors. That was what he personally got them from forensic auditors. So if lists are made available and has been sent to the National Assembly leadership, then it tells that some level of auditing has been done, maybe.
No, obviously, yes. Obviously. So, I mean, clearly, we saw the case of what you call it now. It's okay. It just tells you that the minister was exposing one detail too many, and they were getting very uncomfortable by the minute. Now they have been challenged and threatened. He has been challenged and they threatened to take him to court. So it's out in the open right now. And frankly, I think this is a Pandora's box that has been opened. I don't think it can be shut anymore. Nigerians are interested. The president should be interested. And I think until we get to the bottom of it, I don't think this case is going to be buried like previous ones.
All right. Now, this is not the first time we're having probes like this from the National Assembly, either the House of Reps or the Senate. Can of worms have opened at different times in the history of this Fourth Republic, and we don't seem to see anything different, or don't seem to see the conclusion of all of those. But the president came on the perception and the toga of the fact that he has zero tolerance for corruption. What do you expect the president to do with all of these?
This is a true test of the sincerity of that campaign or that promise. We are seeing what is happening to Magu right now. I hope we see it through to the end. With what is going on right now, Nigerians are interested. Not just Nigerians, I can assure you. The global community is watching to see how the president is going to handle this. And I think it is time for him to shine, if anything. And it doesn't matter whose ox is God or who is sacrificed. But right now, an example needs to be made so that there is, so that there's an end. We can't really say there's going to be an end to this. But obviously, so that there will be more probity in the National Assembly and across all strata of government. The slaves is too much. The corruption is too much. Obviously, these figures are mind-boggling. So it's up to the president right now, and we're all watching. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. What happens after going forward.
Okay, we have to leave it here now. Thank you very much, Victor Okai, for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it.